The Indian team is now just one step away from sealing a place in the Super 8s as far as the T20 World Cup is concerned. They're also now just one day away from facing their third opponent in the T20 World Cup in this group stage that they are in. It's Group A that India obviously find themselves in.
Yeah, and it's obviously been a very smooth sailing so far, you could say, because again, played 2-1-2, they're one win away from sealing that spot in the Super 8s.
Yeah.
I think South Africa is the only team who've done it.
Who would have thought that India versus USA, and we'd be saying that this is the team plays first versus the second place team in the group after the first couple of matches. I don't think anyone could have taken the guess, not even the hosts themselves for that matter would have given themselves that big a chance of a realistic chance, in fact, of getting into the Super 8.
Don't forget, whichever team wins this match technically will be the first to qualify, because even USA are unbeaten as of now. It's really in that sort of a situation.
Absolutely. But this is what we get to understand from far away. The man on the ground, Nikhil, he's not just had a closer look at the Indian team, but he's also managed to rub shoulders with some of the USA players as well. Nikhil, you've interacted with a few of them. I was listening to those interviews. They not particularly did look very excited and was optimistic as well. If you could just to begin with give us a sense of what that mood is in the USA camp to begin with.
No, of course they looked excited. Who said they didn't look excited? They were all very excited for the India versus USA game. Right now, I think, New York City is buzzing with the Pakistan game. I know there were a lot of reports that it might just rain out, and rain was expected. But here's the ground report. Since I'm coming to you live from New York itself, the stadium is about a 45-minute train ride from where I'm standing. It's nice, bright and sunny. So any doubts about, Pakistan sharing points, you can throw them out of the window, which means that they will get a game. It was going to be a crucial game. Just imagine if it got rained out, then it was pretty much game, set and match for Pakistan. They'd have to pack their bags and go. I had to play the last game, but their tournament would have been over. So luckily for them, for the Pakistan team and their fans, they are going to get a good game. You expect them to win. Once again, it's going to be tricky, right? Because it's again at the Nassau County Cricket Stadium. You've seen the kind of pitches we've got. So toss will become crucial. Let's see what happens in that game. The last 24 hours or so, I met multiple cricket fans here. Majority of them Pakistani, believe it or not. And, a lot of them come from Canada. And you heard from some of them saying that today they'll support Canada, because they're so sick and tired of their own team that they said, okay, now we'll go to the country of residence, which is Canada now. But then some of them are quietly confident that Pakistan can pull it off. And I was just going through, I think social media is abuzz with not just memes, but various other reactions coming in. I heard Wasim Akram totally disgusted with the way the team has performed. I was hearing a few other former cricketers. Of course, there's a bit of a side controversy with Kamran Akmal, but I think that's a storm in a teacup, because I think he said something, he apologized for it, so that's done and dusted. But the reactions of the former players, their fans who have been meeting, that has been quite harsh, to put it mildly. Not happy with that, and I don't blame them with the way their team has performed this time around. I just don't blame them. In fact, the Pakistan coach's press conference, Azhar Mahmood, was very interesting. Typical Pakistan style. He was asked all questions. You guys were out for dinner. You've lost to India. Next day, you are going for dinner. There were clips of that Azam Khan, a lookalike, or maybe it was him eating at one of the famous food trucks in New York. So, by the way, I just a side on. My dinner last night was at a food truck. New York is known for its food trucks,
yes,
right? So, while most other food trucks are like regular, you can just go stand there and just, order what you want. No queues at all. There was one particular food truck which had a queue with a waiting of 1.5 hours. One and a half hour waiting. And it was a queue that extended for some 500, 600 meters like that. Really long, really long. Like if you joined the queue, you could not even see the truck. That's how long back you had to go.
But
So
what is it that the queue was for? What was the cuisine?
Yeah, so I'm just getting to it. So I had food from that truck. Obviously, I did not stand in the queue. I bullied some young Indian boys to do that for me. Okay, they stood in the queue. I mean, they were standing for themselves, but I told them that once they reach there, they better order for me as well. And so they got me very nice, sweet guys that I met. They watch Sports Today, Sports Talk, and all of that. So they were sweet enough to do that. They were anyway standing in the queue. So I said, listen, why increase the pain, and all of us have to stand. So yeah, the queue was for something very Lebanese. It's rice. You can have chicken or rice, or you can have lamb and rice and something like that. So you could pick whichever, or you can even have vegetables with rice. So it's basically red colored rice and with skewers on top. So it could be chicken, mutton, Lebanese sort of a thing. So I had that. It was nice. I must say it was nice, but not worth standing in the queue to ask for. I mean, that's how I'll sum up my dinner experience. But it's nice, spicy, red-colored rice. So yeah, that was my dinner. Yeah, but criticism of the Pakistan team. Going back to what Azhar Mahmood had to say, he said, "What are we supposed to do? I mean, what do you expect us not to be going out for dinner at all? Is that what you want? We've lost a match, so what do? We sit in our hotel rooms and bang our heads against the wall?" Like he said, other teams. He said, I've been with other teams, the English team, the Australian team, and so on and so forth. And when they lose a game, it's not that you can't step out. And he said something very interesting. He said, like other teams have other entertainment. I mean, you can just for us, we can't even have those other entertainments. For us, it's just having a dinner. That's our only entertainment. So you want us not to even do that? And I kind of agree with Azhar Mahmood on that. I think it was a bit too much to go after them going out and eating. I mean, eating is something we all do, right? You have a bad day in office, you don't eat food. So yeah, but that's typical Pakistan sort of reactions that are happening.
Yeah, of course, they sort of, you expected that kind of a reaction after the situation that Pakistan were in. Let's admit it, we've all said it, and we all know it heart of hearts, it was their game to win, but they lost it, from a situation that they shouldn't have, and which is why we see these reactions trickling down as well. Some of them are going the other extreme, some of them rightly critical as well, which is why Pakistan are where they are right now, and they're just about a few minutes away from the toss. Their fate very much in their own hands as far as staying alive in the competition is concerned. But now, truth be told,
not really. That's the thing. If
just for tonight, I'm saying survival's sake. For tonight, they can go back to their hotel rooms thinking, okay, we've done our bit. We won the match against Canada. We do enough to survive. But tomorrow, who knows if the script changes?
Correct. That is the thing. I mean, it's not guaranteed.
What?
It's not. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that for Pakistan, it's very much a situation that's not new to them. They do tend to find themselves in these situations where not only they need to kind of do everything possible, but also ensure on some freak results going their way. Again, I go back to 22, South Africa beating or losing to Netherlands. That was a freak result that no one expected, but it helped Pakistan very nicely. Again, they're going to need a few of these because again, they will need, I think, India to win all their games. And they will need to beat, because if they beat Ireland anywhere, then Ireland can only get to 2 points. Their one game is against Canada, so Canada can at most only get to, get to 2 points if they lose to both Pakistan and India. It's weird mathematics, obviously. But yeah, the script can flip very quickly if they end up losing one match anyway. They have to win their two matches
at the start of the tournament, and clearly Group A was one of the easiest groups. You knew who those two teams were. You could have, bet everything you could have imagined under the sun. And, but for those who didn't, they'll be happy that they didn't, because USS sprung a silver. What Pakistan have in fact did, they've gone on to do is, it's as if, when you're looking at all the groups, Group A was like a highway for the Indian team and Pakistan. Pakistan managed to find that one pothole that there is on Indian highways especially, and they've driven themselves into that pothole.
And the car is now broken down.
Now, it's broken down to an extent that it's wreckage at the moment. So you're looking at reviving your campaign from
with assistance from other people on the road. if we're carrying on the analogy.
True that. But that's what it is as far as Pakistan are concerned. But if we could refocus on the Indian team now.
You know, I just I was waiting for you guys to finish so I could just chip in on that. Just on the Pakistan bit, while other times that they made a comeback, but one big difference this time around is the pitches, and that's out of your control. So if you are chasing, you've seen it in the game so far. If you are chasing, totals which are in the 120-30 range, you've seen how tough it gets. So it happened, if you remember, it was a Canada-Ireland game, and you expected Ireland to win. But similar situation, you're playing in New York, you could not chase it down. The only tricky bit, otherwise I would always pick Pakistan, but because the pitches are playing the way they are, you never know. So that's the only problem. But I guess, now that's something behind you. And I believe there is a lot of praise coming in for the pitches as well. There are people, I don't know what you guys think, but I know that as of now, there are plenty of reaction. And I'm a bit surprised with that. I saw Ravichandran Ashwin, I think, spoke about it. I think Mohammad Kaif has spoken about it. I also think, there are a few other reactions. I can't remember. But
yeah, we have a few here actually.
Jasprit Bumrah also.
He said it.
And said that, I rather want a contest between bat and ball and not bat and bat. Well, I understand that sentiment from what Kaif is saying or what Ashwin is saying or what Jasprit Bumrah is saying. I'm sure you're showing that to the viewers as well. Yeah. There is reaction. But my only thing that surprises me is that I'm also a big fan of low-scoring thrillers, right? Don't get me wrong. And I've said this quite often on our platform on Sports Today that I love low-scoring thrillers. Nothing like a game being decided by the bowlers. Completely agree. But I think we're not comparing apples to apples here. Low-scoring thrillers, not because it is a true pitch. These are low-scoring thrillers because, whatever said and done, these are not sporting tracks. That's how mildly I can put it at the moment. I don't think these are sporting tracks. I'm okay with low-scoring. Let's say you're playing in Centurion and the ball is swinging around, has got good bounce, taking the edge of the batter, and then you have a low-scoring thriller. I'm all for it. I'm happy. I love a game like that. Maybe you're playing, in golf, playing a game, the ball's helping the spinners and the spinners spin a web, dismiss the batters, low-scoring thriller. I'm all for that. What you're seeing here in the matches so far is that you got pitching, you got dicey. Oh, you see, I am blessed. Mr. Vikrant Gupta has got me a coffee. He saw me work so hard. So he said that he's going to be talking for too long. Might as well bring him a quintessential New York Starbucks coffee. So thank you very much for him. And he's just in time for his show. But yeah, just going back to the pitches, the only thing that I find very not sporting tracks. Would you want such tracks going forward? If reached a situation that's not now ball versus bat is fine, but right now it's pitch versus the batter. I think that's where the situation is. And that's not ideal. And I don't think that's a good advertisement for the sport of cricket. You're trying to popularize the game here and forget, even if that's not your angle, even if not popularizing the sport is not the prime focus. If the focus is even just kept on the World Cup, the Cricket World Cup, if I'm a team, I'm not happy. I would see if I'm a better team, I'd rather play on a truer pitch when I can then use all my aces, use all my strength to win that game. That would be the best case scenario for me. If you give me a tricky pitch, then you're leaving a lot to luck and a lot to chance. I don't think that's ideal for a World Cup. So I agree to all these things, low-scoring fillers I love, but I will respectfully disagree with all these cricketers in terms of saying, wow, maza aa gaya. It's not maza aa gaya sort of pitch. I'm sorry. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I agree, because I think first off, we're talking about low-scoring thrillers in this World Cup, but it's not as if it was an intention. The intent was to have good tracks with true bounce. Yeah. That was pretty much the point. It didn't work out is a different matter, and that is the only reason you're getting these low-scoring thrillers. It wasn't an intention to, let's say, oh, we're going to make things very difficult for the batters. It just happens that,
might I add, why did it not work out? Shane, I'll still give that leeway that, okay, you tried your best, it didn't work out, okay, fine. The
Yeah.
problem here is they did not try their best. Now, as we've reported on Sports Today, that we were told all this while that the pitches were made in Australia. I asked you guys, where are the pitches made? You said Adelaide, right? That's the impression everyone has. That's the impression every fan that I meet, they have, that these are drop-in pitches from Adelaide. I'm afraid they're not. The real story is not that.
Yeah.
And I think that is where a fan can feel cheated. The real story is that you made these pitches
Florida.
a few hundred miles away in Florida, from where I am standing right now in New York, right? You made them in Florida, Miami. Yes, you got a Adelaide expert, an expert from Adelaide to overlook the making of those pitches, and then you got them there. But you can't then peddle this that you've got pitches or drop-in pitches from Australia. I'm afraid that's a lie, and that's cheating the viewer. That's cheating the cricket public. That's cheating the cricket public that are paying big dollars to, watch a game and watch a good game. A good game, a good contest between bat and ball. I'm afraid you're not doing that. Yeah. What would have stopped them to have prepared a pitch? Why? This tells you everything has been done in a hurry. But you always knew the World Cup was going to be here. You always knew that the USA is going to be hosting the World Cup. Why wouldn't you prepare the pitches there? And the problem is the expert might come from Adelaide, but the soil is not going to be from Adelaide, right? Conditions, the weather is not going to be from Adelaide. And what is that going to do? That is going to give you the pitches that you have. So that is why I go back to the situation. This is a man-made disaster. It's not that by chance sometimes pitches, don't work out because it's not an exact science. Then it's a different thing. This is a man-made disaster. You made this disaster and you brought it upon yourself. So that is the problem. And this is why if you keep praising this, oh, I'm loving these low-scoring thrillers, then in a way you are aiding this kind of organization or this kind of behavior that you've seen from the organizers, where you've got substandard pitches. I believe that this needs to be called out. This needs to be said for the fans, who are coming to the ground, for the fans who are watching it on TV, for general public alike. That no, I'm sorry, you can't hide behind the wheel of low-scoring thrillers. Oh, wow, we love low-scoring thrillers. No, those low-scoring thrillers are not down to just cricketing skills. They're down to poor pitches. Low-scoring thrillers down to cricketing skills, I'm all for it. But not this.
Yeah, in fact, it's interesting because such is the belief right now, and even though we debunked it not just right now but a few days back as well, Nikhil, the first time I think we had that chat with you once you landed in New York was around these pitches as well, and it's been a late discovery even for us. And the popular opinion even right now is because I was looking at social media and there were some comments, there were some reels as well that I saw from people who cover, let's say, tech, and because there's a lot of excitement that the World Cup draws, everyone is of the popular belief that these pitches have been made in Adelaide, and it built, there was the excitement factor to this World Cup. It sort of came from the fact that you were expecting an identical pitch as to what you've seen in Adelaide. So we're expecting a similar nature pitch of the similar nature. Yes, it becomes unpredictable, but it either becomes a very high scoring pitch, or it can be of aid to the bowlers, but it's even, whatever it is, it's uniform, that pitch that you've seen in Adelaide as well. It just goes from one way to the other. Here what you've seen is, because it wasn't really the Adelaide pitch, you thought it's not got the same constituents. It's been assembled in Florida in different conditions, different soil, different components being used. The same curator though, as a result, it was anyway not 100% foolproof. Whatever pitch making and pitch reading that we do is not 100% science, it's not foolproof. As a result, you land yourself in a position where you don't know what to do, whether, rolling down the pitch extra, watering it more. Nobody really knows what to do. Yes, experts have said, keep watering it, keep rolling it down, ensure that there's very little grass in it. All of those things have been said, but nobody really knows. It's a catch-22 right now. You don't know how to save yourself the embarrassment now. Now you're just praying and hoping. Then there was also this rumor that there's a separate pitch for the India-Pakistan clash. That also wasn't, it didn't turn out to be true either. You played on the same pitch that was used earlier on, I think, the South Africa match that had taken place, the second match that South Africa played, the same pitch that India played on. So all of that has happened now, and it's not made for the kind of advertisement that the ICC would have liked. Having said that, it cannot be an excuse for Pakistan as far as the pitch is concerned, because they lost in Dallas. There it was a very even pitch.
Much better than this.
Much better competitions you've seen in Dallas than in New York. New York, yes, it's been difficult, and New Zealand, South Africa has found it difficult, Ireland found it difficult, India has found it difficult, Pakistan has found it difficult. Multiple nations that have played in New York have found it difficult to get past the 100-run mark. Remember, we had to wait for a good couple of matches to get over to see the first team get to 100 runs in New York. So all of those things said and done, but yes, there are those who are liking these competitions. Let's say Ravichandran Ashwin, for example. Ravichandran Ashwin did put out a tweet very recently saying that row scoring, thrillers in this T20 World Cup has been absolutely lit, is what he said after the South Africa-Bangladesh match. So, differing opinions coming in, but you've got to have an even contest. I like what Jasprit Bumrah said in an interview after the India-Pakistan match, where he said that he's liking these conditions. Yes, it's aiding him, but he made a bigger point about the ground dimensions. That is fine. That is fine. The ground dimensions is a valid argument, I think, for a bowler to make. Yes, there is resistance. He also said it. He's absolutely loving it. But the ground dimensions is something that ICC at least has gotten one thing right, because some of the boundaries, your deep mid-wicket, deep cover as well, good 75-meter boundaries at times, which is where you saw that Rohit Sharma shot not go all the way, Hardik Pandya shot go not all the way, both being caught by the sweepers over there in the deep. So,
just the fact that we are calling the Dallas wicket a good wicket to bat on is just proof that how bad and how much resistance is there for fast bowlers in New York, because we also have to remember that the wicket in Dallas was two pace to start off with. Even the Pakistan US game went to 159. That in terms of T20 cricket isn't a good batting surface. The same score in an IPL, we would have said that these were tough conditions to bat on. So when we are comparing it to New York, that's when we are actually calling Dallas also a good wicket to bat on.
But at least Dallas is still an acceptable wicket in terms of, I'm not saying it's and quite frankly, I was kind of done with those 250 pitches we were getting in the IPL. Those made it a chore to watch after a point, because it just didn't matter. Any batter would come and swing and you were getting runs. That was the other end of the extreme. But from there we veered to here, which is the other end of the extreme. So really, how hard is it to strike that balance is the question I've always asked. And it is tough, but I think Dallas is still fair, because again, you've seen, I think it was in Dallas only where Afghanistan also did well.
Against
New Zealand. Yes.
No,
that was that in the West Indies.
I think, I think it was in the Caribbean.
I think the game you're talking about is the USA that went on to chase 198 in the first game.
Yes, against Canada. Yes. So that's still a better pitch, let's put it that way. You still have conditions wherein you can, let's say, succeed as batters, but there's something in it for the bowlers to leave them interested. This, on the other hand, I'm sorry,
it's a borderline dangerous pitch to bat on.
Absolutely.
In fact, when it started,
I wonder how you don't have the ratings yet.
Because listen, the ICC knows if they give 3 ratings, then these venues won't be able to be used only. So it makes no sense. That's why you don't have any pitch ratings yet. It's ICC grading themselves.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have been able to have the India-Pakistan match because the venue would have been suspended by then.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyhow, we also, since we did touch upon the quality of the pitches and the low scoring thrillers, and the jury is out, as we all know, we also have a poll. Let's just quickly run you through as to what the poll looks like as things stand, what the Sports Today family thinks about these low scoring thrillers. So that's the question. Are you happy with low scoring thrillers in T20 World Cup 2024? 70% people saying yes, they are happy with what they're seeing, Nikhil.
Very interesting.
Wow, I'm surprised. I'm
Same.
Definitely the 25%. I'm not happy with the pitches. I'm happy with, see again, what people might confuse this with, I'm happy with where India is. And I'm happy with the fact that India have won both those games, right? So that sentiment changes. Assuming India lost that game versus Pakistan, would we have got 75-25 with most folks happy with the low scoring thrillers? I'm not too sure. Again, I repeat, I love low scoring thrillers. But the reason behind those low scoring thrillers is the problem area. This is not because bowlers are, being able to execute their skills. It's because of the pitches. It's similar to the other extreme where you prepare flat tracks where batters can. I also love good 4s and 6s, provided it comes on a good tough pitch. Then I enjoy that. Right now, what have you reached the situation? You reached the situation in that game against Pakistan. I said, why do I rate the Melbourne game higher? because every ball of those last 3 overs, I didn't know where the game was going to go. No idea. And that was a sporting pitch. It was also a low-scoring thriller, might I add. The final of the World Cup was also a low-scoring thriller in that. They were all low-scoring. But were they down to the pitches? If you hit a good shot, you could execute it, you would get a 6. If you did not have the skill, you will not. So those low-scoring thrillers I like. But here, last 3 overs, 30 needed for Pakistan. I knew the game was done. Why? It's not got anything to do with the bowling skill. You knew on that pitch you can't hit a boundary. Ball's gotten old. No chance you can hit the boundary. So is that the kind of low-scoring thriller you want? I'm not sure. I mean, I guess India has won, and so that's why this positive attitude towards what you've seen so far. Had India been on the receiving end of some of these pitches, I'm not sure you would have got 75-25. It would have been the other way around.
Wholeheartedly agree. I think a lot of people are looking at it purely from an India perspective because again, I think another one also whose reaction I remember hearing about was Heinrich Klaassen after yesterday's game against Bangladesh, where he said that it is what it is, but
he said that playing on New York pitches is much like playing in the middle overs of an ODI.
Yeah, and he also said very clearly that if you want to market the game or sell it as a product, probably not the best pitches to be doing it on, considering it's not really that much excitement for a neutral fan.
It's a country that loves its.
You look at the Bangladesh game as well. Isn't it similar?
Yes.
I mean, they should have won that game. But again, down to the pitches, you just could not hit. I know the biggest controversy right now is those 4 runs that Mohammedullah did not get. But I think that's taking the focus away from the quality of pitches. I think if the pitches were better, they should have ideally been allowed to chase it down. And just on that subject of that Mohammedullah 4 runs, dead ball, I agree that the rule needs to be changed. But I have a more simple and a more effective solution that you can have to ensure that doesn't happen. A rather easy solution to execute, because changing of laws sometimes takes time. But what you can do right now is for the umpires to just wait a little bit more. You've seen it in football.
VAR,
ever since VAR has come, you have seen the linesman now not given offside till the attack is over. So while they know it's an offside, but they'll wait for the attack to be over. Once the attack is done, then they raise the flag. So in case there is any doubt and you want to challenge in a VAR or wants to look at it, it's after the attack is done. Because sometimes you can err, right? By raising the flag, you stop the attack, but technically VAR checks it wasn't offside and you've not allowed the team to score from that advantageous position that they may have had. So simple thing, what you did in football, the line referee decided to wait till the attack is over and then give the decision. I think if you do the similar thing in cricket, the umpire should allow for that play to get over. So let's say there's an appeal for leg before, allow for the play to be over. There's no time limit on the umpire, right? Let the ball go through. If it's a 4, after that, give a decision. So that the fielders are also in play. They're waiting for that to happen. Do not give the decision. After it's over, then give a decision. So if you review, if it's not out, so be it. If it's out, the batter goes, not a 4. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think that would be a better solution.
It'll be a game changer.
It does move towards, as we say, the football style, wherein you actually end up, let's say, letting the game go, letting the flow go. That's something that has worked well in football, although some people will say it's taken away, but whatever, I think this is better than what they have done previously, wherein sometimes, and that's the thing, the reason they did that is because in football the rule is the same. Once you flag an offside officially, once the linesman does it, play is dead. So it does not really...
It'll kickstart the same debate that has been ongoing as far as football is concerned, that of momentum. Football, we know, is a game far more of momentum, but the same goes for cricket as well. I'll take you guys back to the final of IPL 2023. It was all about momentum being broken for a Mohit Sharma, and then you know what happened in the last 2 balls. Had that uncalled for break, an ill-induced break, I would say, from the captain back then, to offer him that pink drink, whatever that he had. If it wasn't for that, then the momentum wasn't broken, and perhaps you would have had a different champion last year. The same applies to football as well. The genesis of this whole thing and what is centric to this whole VR debate is the fact that it takes away the momentum, and many people now have a feeling that you rather keep the momentum because it's taken away the flavor of the game, and maybe cricket goes the same path as well. But after having a tryst with the technology, after trying it out for a couple of years, then maybe in hindsight, and that's what you want as fans at times. You want to first adopt it, see how it works for you, and then probably take a call.
You know, a lot of the criticisms you're talking about, Harshit, are very league specific. And when I say league specific, I mean they mostly come from English fans.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that they don't have the right to be irritated. Absolutely they do. But one of the reasons why there's been so much frustration for the way the Premier League has done it is because of the way the Premier League has done it. First off, they adopted their own methodologies.
Yeah.
That slowed it down instantaneously. Like I remember when VAR first came, you had VAR in the 2018 FIFA
World Cup, and you saw a record number of penalties then.
No problems with the speed of the decision making because they kept it simple. With the Premier League, they had to add their own mechanisms
Yes,
to it.
weight of the body, shoulder, all of that. Yeah,
so
yeah.
what happened there was that the simplification process was dead. Then you made it complicated, and then obviously fans would say that you'd rather have, if you're making it more complicated with technology, then you'd rather go back to that. I disagree. I think what they need to do is perfect it as far as, let's say, it's concerned. And same thing, one thing advantage that cricket has is that they're very good with their technology usage. Very good. Like, I think cricket and hockey are two sports that have used technology very well when it's come to taking decisions. With football, particularly the Premier League, can't say that. But this is, I think, one thing that they can do. And of course, over time, rewrite that rule. I think go the way Dale Steyn went, where he said that, make it baseball style. That don't consider the play dead. Just let it happen. Even if it's out, if the players run 2 runs, then you should count those 2 runs. Yeah. If it goes for a 4, let the 4 be counted rather than just calling it dead. Just eliminate the dead part altogether, and then you're pretty sorted.
Yeah.
Just a couple of points. I know you guys should carry on, but Shivam will tell me how much time I have left. I don't know, maybe another 7-8 minutes.
Exactly the number of balls in an over.
6. Okay. So quick point on the topic that you guys have come in with. So even if I, say bye-bye, you guys could carry on after that because I need to head to the India practice as well, an India press conference. So I'll bring you all the updates from there too, from the Indian as well as the US camp. Yeah, so just on the subject of whether India is going to rest a few players or not, I would want them to. I think it's a good opportunity to allow a few of your other team members a bit of a run because see, down to the business end of the tournament, you won't be making too many changes, right? Unless it's an injury-forced change. I think you're pretty much qualified now. Also, the kind of bench strength you have, you're not really compromising your team and such. It's not that, you are really bringing the quality of the side down by making a change or two. Your players are good enough, the ones that are sitting on the bench, to cover up for the ones that they'll be replacing. So I think it's a good chance. Let's get in a few backers. Let's get in a Sanju Samson if you want, maybe even a Yashasvi Jaiswal to get some runs. I think Hardik Pandya is that one player who tends to rest, and that's all right because it does take a toll on him. He does, double shift. He's a batter as well as a bowler, and he's had injury issues. So if you want to rest him, and we've seen it in the past that he's that one player that you can rest on games that are not too important. That will allow a few players. I would actually play Dube. Let him get some, some form going, get his mojo back. And if a few games can allow him, let that be because you might need him going forward. Let him play. Maybe bring in a spinner or two, a Yuzi or a Kuldeep to come and bowl a few overs. So you get your rhythm going. You get used to these conditions. You might get slow pitches in the West Indies. So for that purpose, I'm not saying make all 4 changes, but just suggestions. You can make a couple in this game, maybe a couple in the next game. But do make those changes. Give these players certain chances, a game or 2. Maybe that will help you in the games coming ahead. So that's what I reckon they should do in terms of making changes in the final game. You can afford to, guys, because India pretty much have qualified. And as I said, you're not even risking a loss because your bench strength is good enough.
I sort of agree as well, because had qualification not been as close as it is right now at the start of the 3rd match for India, I wouldn't want to take a risk. But now that I know that I'm within touching distance of sealing qualification and it's an opponent that I can afford to take with not a great deal of seriousness, no disrespect to the opposition. I know they've already caused an upset, but I know even with the players that I have on the bench, the other 4 that I have not been able to rope in the first couple of games, I would be looking at giving them some game time because I don't know who I'll need going forward. Yes, there is clarity about certain players, certain roles, which is why Shivam Dube, even though he's lost form for about a month now, going back to the IPL, the fact that most of these players were busy till the fag end of the previous month, and they've just, you know, it's been a drastic shift for them in a space of 10 days where they had to acclimatize to new conditions, play even more cricket, very limited as far as the rest is concerned. This seems to be an appropriate time for you to rest a couple of them, but a couple of those who've not had those runs under the runs under the belt, or haven't gone the way they would have with the ball, maybe this is a time for you to have those players, but rotate the others so that you don't know who you will require in the fag end of the season. You don't know how the tournament progresses. There are injury concerns at times with the Indian team. That has been the case over the last couple of World Cups as well. So just give them some game time as well. Let a Yuzi go ahead and bowl. Let a Kuldeep Yadav go ahead and bowl. You've got 2 games here in the USA, and of course you're expecting one of them to definitely be starting in the Super 8s when you shift over to the Caribbean. So it should be a good occasion for them to find their rhythm as well.
I kind of don't agree with this. The fact that the Indian team should already be dropping the players, because firstly
no one's dropping.
No, dropping as in resting them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
As in rotating.
Yeah, rotating. Because firstly, the goal isn't just to qualify for the Super 8s. Firstly, the goal is to actually go on and win the trophy. And as of now, somebody like a Virat Kohli hasn't gotten runs in this tournament. Shivam Dube, if somebody like a Sanju Samson comes in, you need to replace a Shivam Dube or a Rishabh Pant. This team already, it was just the Afghanistan series when most of them played together. At that point also, and Hardik Pandya wasn't available. This is the tournament where the team has actually come
The
together.
captain can rest.
No, I don't think. See, the only change I would want to see is that Shivam, in place of Shivam Dube, you get in a Yashasvi Jaiswal, play him at the top of the order, and then you replace a pacer with Kuldeep Yadav. And that's the team I would want to play all throughout the tournament after this. Apart from that, actually...
So that's done, Shashwat. So that's exactly what I said. You make 2 changes per game. You make 2 changes. I'm done, sorted. So we're on the same page.
Actually, you only want to make 2 changes. Nothing will bring in all 4 reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I won't be getting those players back in the side. This is the team I would...
But sorry, just before I'm logged off, just one point. While you know, I am the firm believer, make those changes. Looking at where India is at the moment, I also wouldn't disagree if there is someone who thinks that no, I want to keep the momentum going. There could be some who say, but in that case, don't make any changes. Don't even make the 2 changes that Shashwat is saying.
Correct.
If you want to keep the momentum going, then you say this is our 11. We don't want that winning combination to go. Let them keep performing in different.
And there we have lost it. Anyway, but see, that's what I was also coming to. Is I was listening to both of you guys before I chipped in, and I said, okay, obviously I know you're very pro the changes. You are not pro that many changes, although you want those 2 squad changes for later, which is fair.
The difference here is that, as far as Harshit sir is saying, he wants this as a rotation.
Yeah. You want it to be a dropping.
I want them to be dropped for good, very honestly, and I would want to go with this side all throughout the tournament.
I get that, and that's fair, but I think I don't see you dropping a Dube that early.
I don't see Dube being dropped because you are still... See, Dube...
Not even a Jadeja?
We need to understand Dube is being looked at as somebody who can really take on the spinners. That is his USP. That's the reputation he comes into the side with, regardless of him having a drop of form and all. We've seen him start. We saw him bowl the 3 overs in that warm-up game as well, which is where you knew that he is being looked at as somebody who can chip in with 2 overs as well, especially in New York.
No, but Harshit, still, how long, for how many more tournaments is the team going to play bowlers on the basis that they can bat or not? You did this in the 2023 World Cup also, when you were going with Shardul, yeah, when you were going with Shardul at that point. This time you have been going with Jadeja and Akshar Patel. Because of the same reason, you're not playing your out-and-out bowlers. And a Shivam Dube also, because now he's a batter who can bowl. So this combination bits and pieces thing is not going to work.
So you want
and
specialists.
It is clearly not
You're saying specialists.
Yeah. And people who can, the reason to actually deepen your batter, how many runs has Jadeja really added? They did a few days before the India-Pak game, we were talking about this fact. Why you need a cushion down there is because you are scared. You were scared as soon as you were down. You sent in an Akshar Patel to protect the batting order. Now, if that's the mindset to strengthen your batting lineup, then that's a defensive approach. And with that, however the conditions are, you're not going to win the World.
That's fair, but two things can be right at the same time. On one hand, I agree. Sending Akshar at 4, even I had called it at that point, was a bit of a defensive move. But I think in today's day and age, the way white ball cricket is, and maybe not so much in ODIs. In ODIs, you can do with not having a Shardul Thakur. Yeah. But in T20 cricket, I think you need a few bits and pieces.
At the cost of out and out.
Because this was up for debate 8 months back also during the World Cup, and I was of the firm opinion. You remember, I was always the one to say that you need specialists. If you're playing the best batters, exactly. If you're playing the best batters, you have to be playing your best bowlers as well. What the argument used to be, and that's why I backed somebody like a Mohammad Shami from the word go. I was furious when he didn't start, and him coming into the team wouldn't have happened had Hardik Pandya not picked up the injury against Bangladesh.
Correct.
So I stand very much there with the same logic, but it applies to ODIs. You need to be looking at T20Is a little differently because of the nature and the duration. Things change very quickly. Now, if a bowler is having a bad day and I'm only going with 5 bowlers, if I know that there is a Jasprit Bumrah, let's say it will only be that one game, or somebody like a Mohammad Siraj, could be Arshdeep as well. Somebody not having a good day, and I know I cannot be bowling the same bowler another couple of overs. He's already conceded 20 each over in the 2 overs that he's bowled. How do I then go to him for a 3rd over when I have to be completing my quota of 20 overs? What do I do in such a situation? But that's where you probably need somebody like a Shardul, somebody like a Dube, who are these dibbly-dobbly bowlers who batters haven't seen much of and often end up striking as well. Shardul Thakur, remember, was the highest wicket taker for Chennai Super Kings in 2021. For DC and KKR as well. The times that he played, yes, he would chip in a tad expensive, but
he would get you wickets.
You look at the World Test Championship final as well. Who got you that prized wicket of Steve Smith? The most unlikely of all the bowlers you had. Again, it was a Shardul Thakur.
And that's the thing. I think if you're looking at formats, if you're looking at it differently, in a format like Tests, you can afford to not have, let's say, you can afford to go either way. You can either pack your team with specialists, or you can have an all-rounder or two there. Like what India have done, Shardul more often than not does play test matches overseas. Why? Because you want to lengthen your batting order a little bit, and that's fine. And you want a seam option. He's someone who does, however he does it, gets you swing and gets you wickets. In ODIs, do you need a Shardul? Maybe not as much. But he would be a valuable addition in a T20 because someone will give you 30 runs and can take you 2 overs.
And then comes in the philosophy of you wanting to take the attack from the word go. Now, if you want to do that, you are succeeding 7 times out of 10 thrice. No matter who you are missing. It is not a short approach. Exactly. So you need that cushion. So that's the second reason why you need somebody to bat at number 8 also. Otherwise, you get into a shell, which this Indian team has gotten into several times in the past, and we saw Pakistan also get into this.
And there is a way to avoid that. Either then have your bowlers actually know how to bat properly. Like again, if you're looking at, say, in Australia, they play 4 proper bowlers, okay?
And all of them can bat a bit.
But everyone down to Zampa can bat. Even Zampa at the very worst can hang around.
Pat Cummins
is I'm not counting him as a bowler. In T20s, he's a bowler all-rounder. Stark can whack. So Hazelwood can hang around. The Zampa who's at 11 can hang around.
I do understand, and I am in for the fact that you need to have those bits and pieces players, but of that quality firstly.
But you don't have the quality.
Yeah, then when you don't have the quality, then it's better to play an all-around Kuldeep Yadav in place of a Ravindra Jadeja. Because till now, I don't remember when was the last time Jadeja actually contributed in T20.
That's a different debate altogether. I agree. That's a different debate, and there are numbers to suggest.
Then you, just for the sake of actually having batting lineup till 8, then if you have the batting lineup till 8, then you're not supposed to push those batters at number 4 up, because as per the current Indian squad, Surya Kumar Yadav is one of the best T20I batters for India as per current form. Not current form, but in general. Then why is he being protected? That's my point. When the quality is in there, then it's better to actually play an all-in-on Kuldeep Yadav who can at least assure you wickets.
Yeah, but then you'd be back. See, the thing is that if you ask me honestly, I'm not that big a fan of Shivam Dube the bowler either. But again, it's necessity. You
It's
need
necessity.
someone who can take an over or two so that you can protect your length in your batting.
think
But
if
if you
captain even
replace
Rohit
Dube,
Sharma-
you still have 6 bowling options.
Huh,
right?
but then you have one less batting option. That is the problem.
Yeah.
That is the
With
problem. And
Dube,
by the way-
I'm pretty sure even Rohit
You're
knows.
getting in a Yashasvi na, at top of the order then and pushing everyone 1-1 down.
See, the thing is there, then you don't have a wicket-taking spinner sort of thing again. Originally, see, if you're looking at it, the reason the combination is how it is now is because they realized that, listen, boss, these New York pitches are spicy. So you may as well pack in another pacer there. Otherwise, I can give it to you in writing.
Correct.
One of these pacers, most likely Siraj,
Correct.
would have been on the bench and Kuldeep would have been playing. The only reason they're not playing Kuldeep is because they want that 8 batting.
Because from a spin,
No, then you can even remove a Jadeja, get in a Yashasvi and move everyone 1 down the order. Then you still have Dube, and then as soon as you go to the West Indies, you can have Kuldeep Yadav in place
I'm
of
telling you,
pacer.
looking at different squads in the second half of the tournament
Yeah,
for
yeah,
India. That is for
110%,
sure.
110%.
That is for sure.
Then don't you think that should be built up
and
from
how
right
I
now?
see it
No,
right
because
now,
condition
pace,
specific.
how I see
Now
it
you're
right
playing
now.
teams like USA and Canada only.
So
it's
you
better to
can,
actually
see, and
gel
that's
up
the
together.
thing. It depends really how your perspective is. Do you want to do that? Do you want to just rest for the sake of resting? Or what I think is going to happen, they're not resting anyone.
Yeah, and it doesn't even make sense. Personally, I feel, what is the need of rest
See, there's
at
nothing
this
right
point?
or wrong about it, I feel. There's nothing right
It really
or
is
wrong.
dependent on what it is you want to do at that point.
Correct.
Knowing this Indian team, and I know they're trying to play aggressively and everything, but the safety mentality is there. The only game you will see players rested will be Canada, assuming you beat the US. That's the only way.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you have to put in the asterisks. Funnier
Of course,
things have
of course,
happened.
of course.
Funnier things have
Funnier
happened.
things have happened. Lottery format, lottery pitch. Not ruling anything out.
True.
Questions?
True. Yeah, could go to questions. International 3191. With the first question, he says that forget Pakistan, focus on the main problem, the nth batting collapse for the Indian team. Same set of chokers over and over again. I don't see us getting
true.
past the semis. With this, International 3191, I haven't placed India in the top 4 either.
I still don't.
Sarshwat also with us over there. In fact, he does see India at least getting into the semis. I have reservations
Me?
on that.
No.
yeah,
International
3-1. But let's see. I'll be happily
to proven wrong.
I'll be very happy
same.
if I'm proven wrong. But there are some problems that I see with the Indian team, and we'll see. It's been a good start, and you have to appreciate where appreciation is due. And right now they've done most things right. Yes, the other day though was a bit of a heist, and the batters should have batted with a little more responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Shubham Garg says that he's asking a suggestion for Nikhil Singh. Please do live some other locations also. NYC has awesome locations like the Rockefeller Center or Empire State Building. Shubham, we'll pass your message on.
Yeah.
I think India will play semis.
They actually, the way they are right now, they'll probably play the semis. Now, what they do after that is on them. Ashish Dhar says that the only way India can win ICC trophy is if Sri Lanka's in the final. Hello, in 2014,
we
you lost to
that
Sri
also.
Lanka.
Exactly.
2014.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
Champions Trophy also
And-
won 2019.
Wait a
Champions
second.
Trophy we lost to Sri
2019,
Lanka.
there was no Champions
Sorry,
Trophy.
17.
No, that was Pakistan.
No, we even lost to Sri Lanka in the group stages.
We could not beat Sri Lanka, by the way, in the 2021 Asia Cup also. They were the winners.
Yeah,
22.
final.
21.
No, it was 22.
21.
Asia Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they
no.
went on to win the Asia Cup.
Yeah,
also,
that was 22. It was before the World Cup.
That was before the
Arre,
2021
the
World Cup.
2020 edition.
There was no edition in 2020.
T20 World Cup was in
2021.
2021.
The 2022 year is the one I'm talking about.
2022.
I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
my bad.
Yeah. That was the year when Pakistan beat you. Sri
Yeah,
Lanka.
20.
And then they went on to.
But we beat England in 2013 Champions Trophy. In the final.
That is.
That's the last final we won, incidentally.
That was the only final in T20 cricket that we.
No, 2013 Champions Trophy was
Was reduced to a 20
yeah.
over.
it was reduced
That was the
to
last time we won a
It was
T20
reduced to a 20
knockout.
over.
It was
effectively.
technically a 50
Yeah.
over game. Okay, Prithvi Patnaik says that a prediction after my thorough analysis, and by the way, he does have a lot of thorough analysis that he's given us. Sai Sudarshan and Rachin Ravindra will match or break Sachin's record of most 100 if they are given a fair opportunity, because Sai doesn't have a PR like Samson. There's so much to unpack there. For one,
Yeah.
he said that Sai Sudarshan and Rachin will break Sachin's record and don't have a PR like Samson. By Samson, if he had a PR, you'd think he'd be struggling to get into the World Cup squads every year.
First time.
Huh?
First time.
First time. Karthik K says that bad pitch. India were 89 for 3 in pitch in 10 overs. The pitch got better in the second innings. Did it though? No, I think it did
No,
not
it
get
didn't,
better.
it
It did not get better. Anyway, we
The
didn't really
conditions
know.
got easier because to start with there was a little swing to offer because of the overcast conditions, but I think the pitch was same.
We can end the poll wherein it said that 68% are happy with low scoring thrillers. I mean, fair. I mean, that is the Janta's vote. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Sachin Kashyap says, I think I agree with Shashwat's point. Add Jaiswal and drop a pacer for Kuldeep. Fair enough. Mayank Madan says that what do you guys think? Does India have the mental strength this time to overcome the knockout hurdles? Chances of Dube's success in these conditions is max 20 to 30%.
I don't.
Mayank, the jury's still out, and I guess we'll only know that once we end up making the semi-final. I think that's when you'll only
Reaching
know.
the final, I think, once.
Yeah, no, but then reaching the final,
happened.
you reach 2023
It happened
also.
yesterday.
No, but this time actually reaching the
Really
final would
won't
be
carry it.
a bigger achievement.
Exactly. So,
वो तो चल ही रहा है सुबह से.
shall we? Shall we call it a night? We'll no point asking him because he's on the phone. Let it go. Cricket Freak says Sky must be waiting for USA and Canada as him against big teams in World Cups is like Pakistan versus India in World Cup. Absolute NPA, i.e. non-performing.
I don't think
No
we can still
performing
go on
asset.
Pakistan that.
For against India in World Cups,
Yeah.
generally speaking, they are.
Shivam,
Since
our
last-
dear friend in the studio, is extremely happy with what he reads over there because
From
he
Cricket Freak
is of the opinion that Surya Kumar Yadav should either be dropped
or canned.
This is
or
bitter truth.
it's the bitter truth is what he says that
Kadwa
Surya Kumar
Sach.
Yadav is an underperformer. That's not what I'm saying. It's what Cricket Freak believes and it's what Shivam
So, I mean,
believes as well.
performance, see, if you're looking at it purely on his ability, it shouldn't be the case.
There are other players who need to be dropped before him, according to me.
But listen, even he in
I
two
wouldn't
World
name them.
Cups, also has done precious little.
No, but
See,
there
with
are
them,
other players who've been there
it's the
since
same thing.
many
Like
more
was being said, I remember Ricky Ponting talking about Virat Kohli who was struggling for form at one point, and he said that I'd rather have an out of form Virat Kohli because I know the upside of a Virat Kohli is such that it sort of makes up for the downside of an out of form Virat Kohli. The day that he
correct.
clicks, it's the same that applies to Surya Kumar
Yeah,
Yadav
but we've
as
been
well.
waiting for Sky to click for 2 years.
Firstly, do not compare.
Exactly, you can't compare Sky and Kohli.
No formats.
Not even in formats. Internationally, how much has he done for India?
Ooh,
Sky.
His numbers speak for themselves.
In bilaterals, ICCs.
ICC, yeah, is a pro. But ICC, even Rohit's numbers are something you can question.
That's why I was not in favor of having Rohit in this squad.
At times, even Kohli scored more than him. He scored 40s, 50s.
He got 250s in the World Cup also. Actually, Sky has two ICC performances.
Bad time.
South
Sky
Africa.
has two ICC performances, South Africa and England.
And England.
And England also, by the way, were it not for Shami, could have also been on a losing cause.
You know what? 2023, 49.
Yeah,
that
the
he scored.
49, because those weren't tricky conditions, you got to give it to him. But other than that, Sky, I mean, I wish Siddharth was here. You get my point. Anyhow, we'll take your leave for tonight. Big game coming tomorrow, very big game. It's India versus India H1B1 or green card versus Aadhaar card, whatever it is you want to call it. We'll be there bringing you all the latest updates and we'll do our analysis as we always do. For now, no, Piyush Nandre is saying maybe it's Shivam's account. No, it's not. I can assure you it's not. He wouldn't be paying money back to the company. I don't think that would be the case. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, pleasure being with you. And if you enjoy our work, like, share, subscribe. We've passed 400k. We'd be really happy if we could get past the 500k mark in, double quick time.
Before the 29th.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Or on the 29th.
On the
Let's
29th.
make it quick.
So subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, check out some other videos we've done as well. Stay tuned. Other stuff coming your way. Nikhil will be bringing you some build up from New York. The press conference will be held.
PC coming up.
Yes, and of course, India will be taking on Qatar at 9:15 p.m. Football FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Last one, must-win game for India. We'll be there for that as well. Also, Canada, Pakistan could very well be determining Pakistan's, fate. So we'll see you then. For now, from Harshit, Shashwat, me, and our producer Shivam, it is bye-bye.